capital, then it's not dilutive to carry the money, it's accretive. Right? The conventional wisdom is when you sell stock, you dilute the shareholders. But in our case, the more stock we issue or the more money we raise, the more we accrete. And so hundreds of thousands of companies have assets on their balance sheet which are dilutive. And Bitcoin is the first major asset which is accretive. So we turn the entire treasury strategy upside down by actually accreting assets. Today we have $15 billion of Bitcoin on the balance sheet. And the operating company generates $75 million a year in cash flow. And the operating revenues are $500 million. So we made the balance sheet the primary part of the company instead of the P&L. Everybody else wants the balance sheet to go to zero or negative, and they want the P&L to be the primary part of the company.
Quick excerpt from Michael Saylor, and he's talking about the playbook that Microstrategy has been using, putting Bitcoin on its balance sheet. Are other Fortune 500 companies going to follow this strategy, and will they start to buy Bitcoin too? Time will tell after this run up, because when these companies see how much Michael Saylor's company jumps as far as valuation goes, they could start to look like, hey, should we be buying this too? And with that, what's happening, Crypto Crew? Sean's coming back at you to the cryptocurrency video. Before we get straight to it, take a look at the Bitcoin Bros 101 website. We appreciate all your guys' support. You can join our premium Patreon, get a pass here, but then also check out our courses. We have this course here, 9+ hours. When you buy this course, you just click start, and this is what it looks like. It's just 9 straight hours of just straight technical analysis and what you need for your crypto trading journey. Get into the Bitcoin price action. What do we see? What do we anticipate? We're looking at the previous all-time highs. Current time is recording, Bitcoin's coming in right below 64,000 at 63.9. Now, is the peak in? That's a question on everybody's mind. We don't believe so. Let's look at the LMACD before we look at the chart. We've showed you this before. Look at the trend line. We've connected these peaks to the LMACD, and right now the LMACD hasn't made it back up here just quite yet. We got some more legs to run. So looking at this overall chart, what do we see? What interesting metrics do we pull away from this? We have these peaks. We have a peak here back in 2011, the second peak, third peak, fourth peak, and we're getting ready to have this fifth peak. What do we see? Once we hit this previous all-time high, how long does it take until we peak out? This was 245 days. So the next time we hit this previous high, how long did it take us to peak out? Another 214 days. Now, for this next cycle here, we had 2 previous peaks. We had a peak at 65,000, then we had a cool off, then a peak at 69,000. So it depends on what you call the all-time high. Now, if you go with this first one here, this is going to be 151 days in price action from when we broke this previous $20,000 peak. Now keep this in mind, we're looking at this on the monthly chart. So this isn't exactly 20,000. These candle body closed around 13.8K. These were wicks above that. The same way these candle body closes here were 61K, these were wicks above that. So even where we are right now, 64,000, this is bullish. We'll tell you that why. We'll tell you that in a second. But get into this first peak from when we blasted past the previous all-time high of the previous cycle took 151 days. If you use this as the peak, now if you use the $69,000 peak, that took about a whole year, 365 days. So we have a wide range of peaks here from 150 days all the way to 365 days. So using that range, when can we anticipate the next peak? So we're extremely bullish because if we zoom into this price action, look here. These previous closes acted as resistance. We wicked above this once, twice, 3, 4 times before getting rejected. And look it, we wicked past this, had a candle body close, and we had this retest. This is a textbook pattern of breaking previous resistance, flipping it to support, and are we going to have that continuation to the upside? That's how this looks like this is playing out. Now, if we use that 151 range from when we broke past this previous all-time high, where would that take us up to? That would take us to August of 2024. Now let's use the year time frame as well. And that would take us all the way out to May of 25. So we could be looking at this range right here. Let's get our rectangle shape out. From August of 24 all the way to May of 25. That is 153 days from when we closed above this previous resistance. So how many days is that from where we are right now? So we'll be looking at roughly another 122 days. That's 4 months. Could we be seeing a 4-month peak on the horizon? That could be what's in the cards. But also looking at another March 25, you're looking at 334 days. That's roughly 11 months. So 4 to 11 months is a high probable chance that we'll see this Bitcoin peak. We've showed you this time and time and time again. This retest was an opportunity. This monthly retest was an opportunity. We actually wicked below it around the $59,000 range. This is potentially going to be that bump and run to the upside, and we could be getting bullish before you know it. And quick update from Tech Dev. People are asking about altcoins. Well, look at the Bitcoin price action and look at the others. So the others are altcoins. You have the bottom, and you have sort of this retracement, put in a higher low, and then putting in a peak, and then putting in a bottom, higher low, stair step, sideways price action to the downside, brief sideways price action to the downside. But what do you notice? Every single one of these happens before. Bitcoin moves first. The bottom Bitcoin came first, then the alts. The second bottom, the pullback, Bitcoin, then the alts. Right here, this peak, then the alts. The bottom, everything Bitcoin does before. So look what Bitcoin just did. It's painting the picture for what's to come for the altcoin market. Looking at the total 3, we see the same thing. Now, is this a bullish chart? We would say so. We ran to this resistance right here. But one thing people need to know is that this level right here is a major level of confluence as well. If we pull this back, we can see we wicked above this, acted as resistance here, and we came back and back tested this. When we fell through this level here, what happened? We fell off a cliff. So from where we are right now, this could be a huge double bottom pattern. The alts broke out, could have had this retest. This was an optimal buy opportunity. It's not time to get shooken out. So where would this ultimate peak take us up to? If we pull this up and then pull this up, being extremely conservative from where we are right now, price action is now around 645 billion. This would be a potential 113% move. So that would be a 2.3x. For every dollar you turn in from Bitcoin to alts, roughly 2.3x. Some will outperform. That's if you use this neckline. Now, if you use the other neckline, which is from the bottom to this orange line, that technical target goes up a little bit higher to that 1.618. That's going to give you a little bit more return, as you see right here, about a 225x. You're looking at a 3.25x on your return. So both are substantial in Bitcoin comparison. So there's still time to get in alts and get a nice position. Total 3 divided by Bitcoin on the 3-day. You see we had this bearish cross on the 20 crossing over the 200, and right now the 20 is acting as resistance on this 200. We get above it, fall back below. Get above, fall back below, get above, fall back below. This is major level of resistance right here. So will we get a massive breakdown and have an ultimate meltdown for alts? And will alts come down another 48, 49%? Will we come back down to these levels, or will alts be putting in a higher low against Bitcoin? Something you gotta pay attention to. Right now, we don't see much space from the 20 and 200 moving averages. And right now, the trend's your friend to the end, and we are still putting in a downtrend. It seems like we're putting in lower lows and lower highs, these wicks. But also, one thing to note, this could be a rounding bottom pattern that's forming for the alts. Could this be a fake out, and could we be getting ready to rally to the upside? Either way, you be the judge. Total 3 looks bullish. This could be a retest, a huge macro opportunity. You have to look at this as a massive green engulfing candle. We came back about almost 50% of that candle. That is definitely a bullish indication as long as this line holds. So keep that in mind. And with that, that's all I have for you today. Once again, I'm Sean with the Bitcoin Bros. You guys like this content, go ahead and smash the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and show us some love. We appreciate the support. With that, that's all I have for you today, and I'm out.